want to talk about two words today: focus and frustration. Many times these two words are the two words that we deal with when we have some goals that we want to do in life. And so I want to talk about, how do you start focusing on things? Because a lot of times people, they have a hard time sitting down focusing on the things that they say they want to do. So I would like for you to get you a notebook and try to carve out just 30 minutes a day. I don't care if you sit in your car, if you sit in the bathroom, if you sit in the park, but I want you to take you and your notebook for 30 minutes somewhere and write down what it is you want to see, the changes or whatever goals that you have that you want to focus on. Once you start writing every day for those 30 minutes, I want you to start speaking. Like when you write, so if you wrote it yesterday, when you write today, I want you to reread what you wrote out loud. So you're speaking it out loud. You're writing it and you're speaking it. So you continue to do that for 30 minutes, as much as you can. And I guarantee the more you start doing this 30 minutes, it's going to increase to the next thing is an hour. Because you're going to start getting excited about writing and speaking what it is that you want. So continue that. Now let's talk about the frustration. Because a lot of times you're writing and you're speaking, but you still just don't see it. And you become frustrated. Like, okay, this is what I want, but how is this going to work? So let's say, for instance, you might work Monday through Friday. And one of your goals is you want to visit each state to pick up a plate from that state. Just a souvenir. That's what your goal is. I want to visit all these states and I just want a plate from the state. Well, guess what? If you work Monday through Friday, that might not fit with your goal. So you may need to change your job. Sometimes we focus on a job and your whole life is revolved around that job. And you never reach your real life goals that you want to do, and before you know it, life is gone. So sometimes in that frustration, you may have to look at changing some things to fit the life you want. And it may not be that easy, but it may be something you have to consider if you really have some life goals that you want to achieve. So focusing on just getting 30 minutes a day and building from that. Speaking it out loud, what you're writing, and just writing every day for 30 minutes or as much as you can. And do not allow the frustration to kick in and stop writing. Because anytime, or most people who are successful, there is a period of frustration when you have goals and you're trying to figure out how this thing is going to happen. So frustration is normal. I want to share this story about what I believe was focus and frustration. Some people may know that I am a registered nurse. And so last year I worked with this CNA. And every day I worked with her, she was focused on what she wanted. She wanted to move to an island and she just wanted to work in housekeeping. She was really tired of doing CNA work. She was done. And I would say she probably was in her 50s, somewhere around there. But every day I spoke with her, that was her focus. I just want to get out of here. And she was frustrated for two reasons. She was frustrated because she was just tired of doing the job, but she was also frustrated about how to make it happen. So I remember asked her a few questions like, well, do you have kids, or are you married, or whatever? You know, something that would kind of, you would have to talk to someone else about to make some changes. No, she was single. I think she had a cat, and her child was grown. She owned her house here, and that was the only thing. She owned her house. And I mean, and she made reference that, I mean, I could sell my house. So it wasn't that she was so hell bent on holding on to her home. So anyway, every day we worked, that was her conversation with me. So I left and, was away in another state working. And when I came back recently, when I pulled into the parking lot, she just popped into my mind. I wonder how she's doing. So the nurse I was working with this particular evening, we was talking about something totally different, not about her, but her name popped into the conversation. And she began to tell me that she got fired. And it was so harsh, that word fired. Okay, she was terminated. And so for me, I kind of smiled a little bit because I knew the conversation I had been having with her before I left. So my thing is, I hope that she was fired, terminated, and now she's living in Ireland and she's doing housekeeping. Sometimes we have to be pushed into where we want to go because sometimes we're afraid to jump. So you get pushed into it. And that's why I say, when you're writing in your journal or your notebook or whatever you want to call it, speak it out loud as you're writing, because you're putting that into the atmosphere. You're putting that out in the universe, what you want. Sometimes things don't come the way we think it's going to come, but the universe hears you, and the universe will answer. So, focus and frustration don't always have to be negative things. Carve out that 30 minutes, and don't let frustration take you away from those 30 minutes of planning what you want for your life.